time to strap in and get ready.
The leaders in NRL Supercoach are incoming. Bringing you the ultimate insight to help you win your leagues and climb up the rankings.
You're now listening to the Insight NRL Show with your hosts, Brain, Mattrix, and Whisperer.
Hello and welcome back to the Inside NRL Show. I'm the Supercoach Mattrix, and today I am here to answer all the questions from our Discord. You can get into our Discord on the links. These are all Inside Unlimited members that pay $20 a year to be a member and, get a direct line to Whisperer, Braino, and I in the NRL. Look, Origin last night, pretty happy Queenslander. I wish we probably could have won it, I suppose, without the controversy. But look, there's going to be plenty of questions. They're all going to be surrounding Origin and who's in and who's out and who backs up. So let's jump straight back into them. Matty Granger has asked, looking at South players, thoughts on Cody Walker, Damien Cook, and Latrell Mitchell. So I myself am looking for a South player too. And it's mainly due to, I suppose, the draw. So when you have a look at between rounds 13 and 20, which I consider the bye rounds, they're playing the Titans this week, one of the easier matchups, even for the worst team in the comp at the moment. They're playing the Broncos, which looks like they don't have a full-strength team at the moment. They're playing Manly in the bye rounds. So no Hamoli Olakawatu. They have a bye in round 17, which I don't consider as hard of a bye round as round 14 is for me. Parramatta, which leak a lot of points. Dolphins, which leak a lot of points. And West Tigers in round 20. So you're asking about Cody Walker, Damien Cook, and Latrell Mitchell. I really like Damien Cook, and I think his last few scores, he's been really good. So he's 589K, starting to bottom out. He's got that break even of 4. He definitely has bottomed out. Has a 3-round average of 77, and he's been one of the guys that have made Souths look a little bit better in the last couple of weeks. So I do really like it. Of course, Mamazoulis on the bench is a concern for me. And I like some other options that are similar sort of money. I like JMK. I like not spending a lot of money at hooker and going like an Appy Coruscant or a Brendan Hands even and spending the money elsewhere. Don't hate it. Latrell Mitchell, I am worried that after the loss, after Suaalii has got a 4-week ban, that Latrell Mitchell is going to be the next center to step up and play for his state. So I'm going to be staying away from Latrell, and I would have been super tempted for Latrell as a Reece Walsh owner because Reece Walsh has that 11-day stand down, but it's Cody Walker for me. Look, 540K. I often talk about a few years ago, I bought Cody Walker when he's bottomed out, and it's worked really, really nicely. He has a 3-round average of 64. You're paying about a 63 for Cody, and I know we say it every week at the moment, but I just can't really imagine these guys getting any worse, especially with the teams that they've got coming up. So like last year he averaged 70. I know they're not the team that they were, but this is a guy that's been 700K this year. He's averaging 54. He's got a low score of 36. He's coming off a few low scores again. But New Zealand and the Sharks have been, I suppose, no real pushovers. Oh, sorry, he's coming off a 99 last week. But when he plays some easier teams, he has been scoring well. I expect Cody to step up, and I think Cody is a really nice pod this week, actually, especially at 2% owned. I've got some real concerns around there with halfbacks. I'm somebody that was holding Nico, holding Sean Johnson. I'm liking Lachlan Galvin. I can always move Dylan Brown up to halfback. So Cody Walker is the answer for me, Matty. John O'D there, and yeah, I've been, of course, talking about about Nico Hynes. So he's asking, is Nico Hynes a hold now, with him likely being out of the New South Wales squad? He has the numbers for this week covered. I think if you've got the numbers for this week covered, as long as they're decent numbers and you're not relying too much on blokes like Samuel Hughes, we're going to have a chat about him later. But I think Nico is a hold. It does depend who your other halfback is. My other halfback is Sean Johnson. I am devastated that he's not playing this week because Nico was always a hold for me. So I think if you're in a good situation, you've got 17 players. Nico is a hold, and let's just see what happens in the later rounds. Just remember when we get up this bye schedule that. Sorry, let me duck this banner down again. That the Sharks do miss round 16, so don't be relying it there. But Bulldogs into the Titans, into the West Tigers, I would consider favourable matchups for Nico, should he play them all. So, yeah, I think Nico is a hold. I'm unfortunately my hand's been forced this week. But, yeah, I think Nico is a hold. Is Bunty Afoa the best option as a downgrade? Can be a future AE nightmare. Oh, look, I'm not Bunty's biggest fan when it comes to Supercoach. He's 250k with an 18 break even, but he's only you're paying 25 for him. I sort of want somebody that I sort of want anyone else. If I'm having a look, I'm probably looking at Josiah Pahulu. At least you're paying 250k for a 30 average. He's starting this week. I think that he is a better option. Honestly, I think at this point in the year, and I'm not a big fan of nothing. I've always been against nothing, but in front row forward this year, I think maybe just get a Viliami Fifita or one of those front row forward, second row forward duels and just nuff out. Because obviously if you're downgrading to Bunty Afoa, then you're not really needing the number this week either. So you could nuff out at front row forward if you really need that money. I think the extra 50k from having a Josiah or having a Bunty Afoa and then becoming AE Nightmares could do more harm than good. I don't think you're going to make 100k out of Bunty Afoa. That's my problem. Shorty and Jacko, there's been a few of these questions in the chat, have asked whether Fifita or Eli Katoa this week. Now, Fifita's a great option. Of course, the concern is he might get selected for Origin. But if we have a look at the Titans, if he doesn't get selected, he plays round 16, misses round 17, not a huge concern, has some really nice matchups against the Sharks, which have been struggling at the moment. Parramatta in round 19, who, might be missing, say, a Mitchell Moses and some blokes like that. Got Manly in round 20. I like Fifita due to the fact that when I have a look at the Storm, they miss round 19 as well. I'm scared Fifita is going to get picked. So for me, I pick Eli Katoa with the Kiwi accent. So that's my advice. And I'm just probably doubling down. I really like Fifita. If Fifita doesn't get picked for Origin, and I think Sewer and some of the other guys were good enough to hold their spot. It's just when it comes to round 19, that could be absolutely devastating if Fifita doesn't get picked. You're going to save some money between Katoa and Fifita. I think Katoa is the safer option, especially playing the undermanned Dolphins in round 16 with Jerome Hughes still in the lineup. Josiah Pahulu, yes or no, as a downgrade front row forward? No, unless you really need the number this week. But do you really need the 30 points and the possible AE nightmare in the future that Josiah Pahulu could be? He could be great, but if you're paying a little bit extra, if he scores 60 on the weekend, he's not going to go up in price too much at the 250k he is. I'm probably looking to nuff out in front row forward, if anything. A couple of guys with the same question. Tross and Luru have asked Lussick to hands or Appy if already holding Grant. So I think that hands is perfectly serviceable if, look, you're going to make a lot of extra money. It's round 16 where I suppose, get worried. So in round 16, you have the Tigers playing Canberra. So Appy is, of course, playing. But you've got the Eels on a bye, and you've got Appy on a bye. You've got the Eels. You've got Lussick. You've got, sorry, guys. You've got Hands out, and you've got Harry Grant. So just check your numbers there. I prefer Hands because I want to spend that money elsewhere. And Appy started very strong, averaging that 70, 80 to start off with, but he's really dropped out. I think this is bottom dollar for him, but I don't think you need to run two gun hookers this year. It's been just such a mid position. So, yeah, my answer is spend the money elsewhere, get Hands in as long as you have enough numbers for round 16. Purpose asks, what are my top 3 beers during a footy game? So, at the moment, really enjoy a Bolter, XPA, probably my favourite beer. And at the moment, I'm drinking a Young Henry's Classic. Big fan of them. They do a mid-strength too that's not too bad, but I'm going with the heavy here. And is there anything better than turning up, and especially just fresh being coming out of Origin, turning up to the Origin game and just drinking whatever they have on tap, fresh out of the tap, in a little bit of plastic, and it's more about the experience with that. Just stacking your plastic all together at the end of it, and just enjoying watching the footy live. So for me, Bolter, Young Henry's Classic, and then straight into whatever they've got on tap at your stadium of choice. He's also asking, and Perpy, I think I made that up, thoughts on Fifita being a buy with the Origin snub, but potential game 2 and 3 selection. Look, if you've got Eli Katara already and you don't have to spend a trade on that, I think Fifita could be a buy. I don't think Fifita will get picked unless they lose game 2. So I suppose that's what you're gambling on. Fifita, to me, is the best second rower in the game. I don't know why he hasn't got picked. Sounds like a bit of a message getting sent from Billy to him. So for me, I think Fifita is a buy. He's a possible captain option in round 16 for you. Even a vice captain option. But I think he's a really good buy. I just think that we might be seeing him play the buy round 3. I'm not fully convinced that he doesn't get picked. Shorty's asking, and there's been some good questions in this one. What's my go-to Subway order? I actually like a Subway Club on Italian herb and cheese. We've got lettuce, cucumber, capsicum, carrot, olives, pickles, salt and pepper, and I like one line of ranch and one line of barbecue sauce. That's the way that I like to have it. Yes, I do eat tomato. Yes, I'm not really a fussy eater. I just don't like what tomato does to the bread. Makes it really soggy, and that affects me negatively. I also work in the sales industry, so you won't catch me with onion on, and especially not like that red onion that really affects your breath. You won't catch me having that on a work day. And when I have Subway, it's usually there's one near my work, so it's usually on an office day. But maybe on the weekends, if I'm feeling really spicy, I might get a little bit of onion on it. I'm not a fan of basically people in general that go the spinach instead of the lettuce. I understand that it's healthier and, you're looking after your body. Whatever it is you're doing, completely fine. But I need that crunch. I'm also, is an unpopular opinion, I don't get it toasted when I get it that way. They've just made fresh bread. I don't understand why you're ruining it with toast. Like, yes, I go to the shops, I buy my bread, I toast it. But if it's fresh, you just want to eat it. So, for me, that is my go-to. And Club, for those of you playing at home, is the turkey, the ham, and the roast beef all together. So, that's me at Subway, Shorty. So thanks for that. Again, some really good questions. Dr. Hamo is asking, what's better, winning a bolter bet and not getting the beer, or losing the bet and not having to pay up? Asking for a mate. Mate, I am very aware that I owe you a 4-pack of bolter. I don't even know your address where to send it to, so pop into my DMs, mate. I'll get you sorted for that. The Dub 247, thanks for popping on, mate. SJ and Hynes is his current halfback. Who should he trade to, and do I have any love for Mitchell Moses? So, as per my first conversation when I was chatting about Cody Walker, I don't particularly love the halfback position, and that's why I'm looking to bring like a Cody Walker in and moving a Dylan Brown up to halfback. I do think Matt Burton is a chance in game 2, but I don't think he'll be selected. I think he'll more be, maybe a bench player or an 18th man, so I'm staying away from him. It's probably just somebody like Cody Walker, getting him in, spending the cash elsewhere, moving Dillbags up to halfback, where I think is his value at the moment. And I'm taking a punt on Cody Walker with how many games that Burton's going to be missing, with how many games Nico's going to be missing. Yeah, I do think that that's a problem. But if you're having a look around and work out if you've got 17 players outside of that, you could just cop an AE, and your AE might only be the one player, so you know what you're going to get. If you don't expect that to be a particularly low score, I do see a world where you can hold Hynes and SJ through this week, because if SJ was apparently racing the clock to be fit for this game and just missed out, SJ's probably just going to be ready next week. And we don't have this issue. There's every chance Nico, I don't think he had the best game last night. There's every chance Nico doesn't get selected and he could be the golden goose. We could be talking about Hynes being the halfback that you want through this bye period in the end. Tross is asking, who is more pressing sell this week, Sam Hughes or Morgan Smithies? So for me, it's Sam Hughes. And it comes down to the fact of his 3-round average being 28, his 5-round average being 32, his break-even being 65. So that 115K that he's made, we are going to start to leak that out. He only played 15 minutes last week. I hope that he plays more, but I don't gamble on hope. Morgan Smithies has been disappointing in the last little bit, but that's a 3-round average of 38 and a 5-round average of 42. I would prefer the extra points if they're going to leak the same amount of cash. There's about 10 points price difference or 8 points price difference between the two. I think Morgan Smithies scores 10 points more than Sam Hughes. So, it's getting him out. Who do you get him out to? I think Samuel Afinu is a great buy in the front row forward. I think his value is at front row forward. So for me, it's trying to find the extra 60K to go Sam Hughes to Samuel Afinu. Mally 11, thanks for popping on, mate. Thoughts on Cotter to Cardi and Fuller to Latrell or CNK? Look, Fuller to a fullback, fantastic. You probably have to do it at the moment. My concern is Latrell. I think he's the front runner to play center with Joseph Sualihi being out. I like CNK, so that's a great option. I think that CNK, Dallin Wateni, Zalesniak, and SJ all in the next week playing together is what I'm excited about with CNK and Dallin Wateni, Zalesniak. So I think, you could go a week early there. But Cotter to Cardi, I don't actually think Cotter's a sell. I have a look at the buy schedule for these guys, meaning the Cowboys, and the Cowboys have New Zealand this week in round 14. I think where the Cowboys are sitting in the ladder, they'll need him to play. So I think that he will play I think he'll play round 14. I think he'll play round 17, and he would have missed 16 and 19 anyway due to his origin selection. So the doggies are there in round 20. I really like holding the Cowboys through this period, to be completely honest. So, yeah. Sorry, guys. We've had a little intruder in the studio tonight. So, yeah. Essentially, the play is to hold Ruben Cotter, and but I do think you could find a way to get Cardi this week. I think that he is a really good play this week. Is Fifita a must if he misses Origin? Oof. Honestly, I don't think Fifita is a must-have at his price. I think Eli Katoa is a must-have. I think that you can play some of these really mid guys through this period, and it will, completely hold you up. So I do like that. Give me a second. We were just going to have a short intermission break. There, have a look at Ryan. Sorry, guys. And Brano's missing the Q&A tonight, probably due to Ryan at Astute Newstead. Ryan helped him. He sold his house and helped him into a new house. Ryan's helping me refinance again at the moment. That'll be the third time I use him. Each time just to help me save money every couple years. He even has a look at the rates on the rates that he got me, and then we have a chat in another couple years to see if it's worthwhile. If you have a current home loan and you'd like to save some money, look, maybe it's enough just to buy you a carton a week. If you are looking to get into your dream home, Ryan can help you. If you're wanting to get into the market and you just don't know how much you can spend, again, get in contact with Ryan for all your home loan needs, and let him know that the boys at Insight sent you. Prison Wallets here is asking, is Braino all good? He seemed cranky in the pod last night. Don't let Hamo get to Brain. You're better at golf than him. Chin up, mate. Look, Braino's had a rough, probably 48 hours. He's moving house, which sucks. And he was a bit cranky on Twitter last night too, to be completely honest, with that Suolihi send-off. So pop on Twitter. Let him know what you think about that as well. And yeah, you are probably better at golf than Hamo. Hamo's got a good long ball, but his short game leaves a little bit to be desired. Pert back again. Thoughts on holding Nico with Moses rumored? I think Nico is a hold through this period. I think there's a chance that Nico doesn't play round the second state of origin. And Moses does get selected. This is making me stay away from Moses. I think a lot of these answers at halfback would be, let's get Mitchell Moses. But I just can't cop another loss with these guys that I'm bringing in. Your blokes like Reece Walsh being out. The question marks around David Armstrong. Not knowing whether Val Holmes and some of these other guys are going to back up. I just can't keep risking it and wasting trades on this. So, you know what would be most disappointing? If you went to Moses and then had to go back to Nico and you just keep burning trades. I think just hold Nico. Again, probably the plan is if you've got 17, even outside, remember you'll get your AE. If there's only just one guy there, it might not even be a low score. So, yeah, I think Nico is a hold. Pitbull, thoughts on Cartwright to Samuel Afinu as a trade-in or Cartwright or Samuel Afinu as a trade-in for Lane, Smithies, and Burbo. So I just said before that Finu is a great player to bring in, but I think all his value is at front row forward. Front row forward has been a wasteland, much like hooker. And if you're trading out Lane, Smithies, or Burbo, I would go Cartwright. Now, out of those guys, I consider Sean Lane the guy that needs to go the most. And I like Sean Lane. And honestly, I was holding Sean Lane waiting for Mitchell Moses to come back. The problem is that Sean Lane's now coming off the bench and playing through the middle. Where his value was just outside on Mitchell Moses' edge. And now Cartwright is doing that. So I think Cartwright is in a great spot. Get him in. Get rid of Sean Lane. It might feel sideways getting two guys from the same team, but you had Sean Lane because you wanted him to produce Bryce Cartwright numbers. Rectify that mistake. And I believe this is the last question. Mr. Callio has 17 this week, but if Armstrong doesn't play, would I use a boost to account for that number or just take a loss of some points? And now for me, it is who I am boosting to. If it's somebody that I expect to get 70 plus, I think that's worth a boost in this period because there'll be so many people playing shorthanded, probably Mattrix included. So I would use the boost, but if you're just going to downgrade or you're going sideways for somebody that you sort of think might just score you 40 or 50, you may be going to like a Karapani or somebody like that. I know that a lot of people have been looking at Josiah from the Broncos with that negative 73 break even. Yes, it can start some cash generation, but how long is it going to take when all these Origin stars are coming back? For me, if you think that they're going to score 70 or 80, or you've got the funds to get you a genuine captain option or somebody like that in, I use the boost. As long as they're, like if it's to get in somebody like Latrell or via some Ethan Strange duels or something, you can get in a Cody Walker. Could be a possible vice captain option. I am okay with that. I do it. But if it's bringing in Karapani or somebody like that, just hold Armstrong a week. Who's to say that Fletcher Sharp has a stinker and Armstrong works his way back into the team? And you haven't lost anything. He's not going to lose you any money if he's not playing. Thanks, guys, for listening to another Q&A. I know the women's Origin's on in 10 minutes, and I'm personally excited to watch Queensland again. My honest opinion is the Blues team's probably a little bit too strong with the women. But, yeah, look, I hope you have a good time. I hope you have a good week this week, and we will see you on Sunday for Sunday Sesh and the wrap-up. Cheerio.